Hey everyone, Kyle here. Welcome back. Markets were just in a full-blown rally today after CPI was reported this morning. Inflation is down another 0.1%. So good signs are coming in through the data. Then we had the federal interest rate decision today, and it is remaining the same as expected. So I think the market was super hopeful for interest rates to be coming down about 0.25% because the rally this morning was very strong. And once the news came out that interest rates were staying the same, the market seemed a little bit mixed on that reaction. Now, the Federal Reserve has access to the CPI information about a day before the federal interest rate decision is decided. So I think market participants were hoping that since the Fed would have already known about this data, this was one of those few times a year 2-day meeting events where they were meeting yesterday and then they were also meeting today. So I think people were hoping that that was maybe going to be taken into account for and then adjusted for that. And because also Canada lowered their interest rates, though I didn't think that would make any effect on us. And here we are. So rates are staying exactly the same. Keep those high yield saving accounts topped off and just continue to see how data continues to roll in over the next couple months and quarters, and we'll go from there. The Fed did surprisingly extend their not their target date of when they think they might start look at lowering rates, but they did reduce the amount of rates that they think they might lower when they do get to that point. So kind of expectations and bets were around 2 to 3 rate lowering events taking place before the end of 2024. Now we're only looking at about 1. We think we might get 1 maybe in somewhere in between September and December. So if we get 2, then okay, great. Honestly, even if we get 1, then that will be nice. There is a lot of kind of talk online I see about people kind of conspiring that there will be a bunch of rate cuts just before the election to make the Biden administration look good. The Biden administration really has no say about what the Federal Reserve does and what rates they choose to stick to. So I really don't see how lowering interest rates 0.25%, even 0.5% before election cycle will have any impact on somebody's voting decision. Quite frankly, if your voting decision is only based on what the federal interest rate is immediately prior to an election, then you might want to reconsider your voting options. That just seems like a ridiculous. Anyways, there's just something I read that made me chuckle and kind of ask myself, what are people thinking when they say that? So rates are holding steady. We may see less of them this year. And we'll just have to continue to monitor the data. Unemployment is up 0.1% to 4%. CPI is down 0.1% to 3.3%. So all the data is just continuing to look better and better for the Fed to start to consider easing on that quantitative tightening a little bit. They're still unwinding their federal balance sheet continuously month after month, week over week. So that's also looking very good. Beyond that, we had Broadcom earnings today, and they announced a stock split, which I think was somewhat widely expected as well. They were in the $1,400 or so a share territory, just like NVIDIA was not even 2-3 weeks ago. So naturally, they decided to go for a stock split, and they're boosting their stock price pretty well after hours based on that news. GameStop was up 18% yesterday and at one point down 18% today. Not sure what was going on there. They did announce that they finished selling off their shares to the public, that $75 million, not $75 million, 75 million shares. They finished selling all of those shares. They acquired a little bit over $2 billion in cash. So then they also filed a form with the SEC indicating that they were seeking to potentially use that cash for a merger or acquisition, though no more details on that yet. So we'll see what happens there. No new posts from Roaring Kitty yet. I would love to keep covering that, but nothing new from his realm yet. But fun stuff. So talking on Tesla and Apple yesterday, this hadn't come to mind at first, but so to rewind a little bit, Elon came out and was taking a dig at Apple, saying, working with OpenAI is a huge security violation and trust violation, and big no-no, shouldn't be doing that. Apple, on the other hand, says we're gonna keep working with OpenAI, and we like OpenAI, and probably because they're struggling with their own AI. What are the odds of a Tesla phone, though? What are the odds of Elon kind of continuing on this trend of like liberating people from these, what's the right word? Liberating these people from just these overreaching companies, these other conglomerates, and, companies that are profiting off of selling your personal information and kind of controlling what you can or can't do. And he's big on Twitter about being, kind of in the thought process of making it a free speech platform. And I know there's some back and forth to be had on that. But what do we think about him coming out with his own phone? I'm just kind of like I was mentioning the password manager on OS X yesterday. I just having his own phone and then having a Tesla phone in the Tesla car and having it be tied to that. And then maybe you have a Tesla Powerwall at home and Tesla roof and solar panels. And then maybe you have a Twitter or an X account and that's now owned by Elon. And it's just stuff seems like on his end, it's just getting a little too intertwined. I don't know if I really want my car being directly tied to my phone, being directly tied to my social media account, even though it's all about like protecting your privacy and free speech and yada. Elon may not be around forever, and certainly he may not own some of these companies that he currently owns forever. I know he's struggling with just trying to retain what ownership he does have, and he's fighting for even more with Tesla, and we'll have to see what comes of that. So I am interested to hear your comments and opinion on that. Please leave a comment below. Please like and subscribe if you will, and we should definitely have some more news tomorrow after kind of this market shakeup today works itself out overnight, and we see kind of where we open and how we perform tomorrow. So thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for more. Catch you later.